Hi, okay, so today we are going to continue our unit on trigonometry. We're going to be talking about trig functions. And we've been practicing identifying sides because that's a huge part of using these trig functions. So if we have this angle, the side opposite would be this side. This side across from our 90-degree angle would be the hypotenuse. Maybe I'll write out the whole thing. And our last side is the adjacent side, which you guys have perfected on your last assignment. And so the trig ratios that we can use are so, ca, and toa. And so stands for sine, which equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. So S stands for sine, O stands for opposite, and H stands for hypotenuse. So if we want to find the value of sine, we would divide the opposite by the hypotenuse. Ca, that stands for cosine, which equals the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. So C stands for cosine, A for adjacent, and H for hypotenuse. You're going to want to memorize so, ca, toa. It'll be very helpful on your assignments this unit. And toa stands for the tangent, which equals the opposite side over the adjacent side. So we are going to practice finding these ratios today. So we're just going to find a bunch of them just to practice doing it, and then we'll move on to the assignment for today. So here's our right angle. This side is 5, this side is 12, and this side is 13. And so we are going to use this angle right here, and we want to find the sine of this angle A. We want to find the cosine of angle A, the tangent, so the sine of A would equal the opposite over the hypotenuse, because for sine, to find the ratio, we divide the opposite side by the hypotenuse. So we probably want to label our sides first. So if we're talking about this angle, the opposite side would be 5. The hypotenuse, the side across, would be 13. Oops, I did the wrong color. This would be our hypotenuse. And the 12 would be the adjacent. So for sine, we divide the opposite by the hypotenuse, which means our opposite side is 5 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 13. If we wanted to find the cosine of A, for cosine, we divide the adjacent side by the hypotenuse. So the adjacent side is 12 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 13. And then to find the tangent, we would divide the opposite side by the adjacent side. So the opposite side was 5 divided by the adjacent side, which is 12. Okay, let's look at your practice assignment today. Okay, so we're going to find the value of each trigonometric ratio. So we're trying to find the tangent of x. So x is this angle right here. So I would label the sides first. So we have our opposite side right here. We have our hypotenuse right here. And we have the adjacent right here. So that means the tangent of x would equal, so remember, SOHCAHTOA. So if we're doing tangent, we're using the t, which means we need the opposite and the adjacent. So the opposite would be 40 over the adjacent, which is 9. And then for number 2, they want us to find the sine of z. So here is z, and we're using the sine function. So sine, we use opposite over hypotenuse. So first we want to label our sides. So 36 would be the opposite, 45 would be the hypotenuse, and 27 is adjacent. So for sine, we need opposite over hypotenuse, which means the opposite is 36. So sine of z equals 36 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 45. Okay, go ahead and complete your assignment.